Today we're going to be discussing Common Core Learning Standards. Common Core Learning Standards were first developed by Council of Chiefs State of School Officers and National Governors Association. Common Core Learning Standards were first adopted into the school system in 2011, but weren't implemented into school teaching until 2012-2013 school year. The purpose of implementing Common Core Learning Standards into the school system is to ensure that all students statewide are learning the same information and students are able to use more visuals, diagrams, and take the learning that they're using inside of the school and use these skills and apply them to things that they're doing outside of the school. Okay, Common Core testing is what school officials use to record the data and see if their Common Core learning standards are working effectively. However, since they've been implemented into the school system 3 years ago, they've been showing a large decline in test results. In California, Common Core learning standards were only implemented last year, 2014 to 2015 school year. And the grades that have been taken from the testing that from 2014-15 school year show that there was only a 1-point increase in ELA testing and a 2-point increase in math testing. Okay, and with that being said, there was also 200,000 students that opted out of taking Common Core testing, which really changed the effects of the growth that students would have been making, with only showing the 1% and 2% increase in both ELA and math. In Comswego School District, there was 1/3 of the students less that passed their state testing than there was before the Common Core standards were implemented into the school system. That was 50% less than before Common Core learning standards. Okay, the learning standards that school officials have been implementing into the school system have been showing a negative effect on students and parents as well. Parents don't seem to be supportive of the standards that school officials are trying to teach these students. Okay, reasons that they are not supportive of the Common Core learning standards are because, well, for one, parents weren't properly informed of the information that was being changed. They weren't informed that these standards were going to be applied school-wide in all subject areas. And when it comes to students taking testing home or homework, and getting the support from their family in order to pass their grades, parents are finding it very difficult to even understand the information that they're getting. There was one situation where a mother of 2 8-year-old twins, 8-year-olds are in 3rd grade. The mother wasn't even able to help the students with the homework so that they were able to be successful in school. When students are in school, that's part of the work that is required for them to learn in school, and when they go home, they're supposed to be able to get support from their family as well. Learning should be taking place both in school and outside of school. And if parents aren't able to help students outside of school, then it's basically setting up a ground for failure ultimately. If the basis of the work has to be done in a classroom of teachers that have sometimes 25 or more students in one room, how can they ensure learning for each and every individual student when it's very hard to get the learning done outside of school as well? Okay, before the standards were set into place, there was only 18% of teachers had started planning and were completely trained in 2013. Therefore, teachers themselves weren't even knowledgeable or completely ready to implement these standards into their classroom to teach them to students. How are they supposed to properly teach a group of kids a strategy or a skill, a structure if they don't completely understand or know the structure themselves. Okay, 70% were not ready when the testing was implemented into the school year in 2013. Okay, I have here, it's very hard to see, so I'm just going to read it to you. This is one of the standards that we have for social studies. The standard says literacy in social studies. Okay, cite specific textual evidence to support analysis of primary and secondary source. Students are supposed to be able to cite text-based evidence to support primary and primary sources, and they're supposed to be able to cite text-based evidence to support a secondary source. However, some of our students aren't even knowledgeable of what a primary source or a secondary source is. With that being said, teachers should be able to teach their students the basis of what a primary or secondary source is. CCLS standards do not allow teachers to fill learning gaps to make clarifications to students that don't have clear understanding. Again, how are our teachers supposed to teach our students if the students don't understand the concept? We should be able to first teach them what the concept is, to then be able to further have them analyze and gather text-based evidence to support their reasoning. Because at that point, our students are just writing information and not knowing what exactly the information is supposed to be being applied to. Okay, so our Common Core Learning Standards, although it seems that the intentions were positive, because we want them to be able to be competitive and be knowledgeable statewide and be able to compete with children that are from other nationalities, other countries. Okay, but if we are not able to have room to properly teach our children, the standards are ineffective themselves. Okay, I hope you guys liked what we're discussing here, and hope you agree with our Common Core Learning Standards, and hopefully eventually they will critique them so in a way that they can properly help our students. Thank you.